Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the Collider Games podcast. My name's Destin. I'm in studio with...
What's up, guys? It's your boy Dorian here.
And also we've got...
Joshua Weyers.
Yeah, and busy week in the gaming world.
Sorry, anytime I say what's up, Dorian, now all I hear is a soundbite because Cody and them, the Collider Live people, just clipped out every time I've said it. So now
what's up, guys? It's your boy Dorian.
There you go.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up,
Look
guys?
at
It's your boy
that.
Dorian.
All right, Cody, get out of the booth.
Oh my
Anyway, Dennis, continue. I'm sorry.
Big week in games. The Game Awards were last night.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that here personally. We launched Twin Peaks VR
Finally.
today.
Let's go.
Today.
Yeah.
It's up, available on Steam and Oculus. If you have Oculus Rift, Rift S, HTC Vive Pro, Cosmos, Valve Index, it's all available. Also, if you have an Oculus Quest, you can play it with the Oculus Link cable, but we're actually working on both a Quest and a PSVR version.
That'd be great.
So that's for next year. But if you have a Quest and you can't wait to play it, you can just, if you ever your PC is decent enough, you can hook up and
Get the link,
it.
yeah.
So that's how you can check out, all the Collider
you
videos,
guys had that
social
launch
media
event last week as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys spoke about that last week. I wasn't here, but that was a good event. That was fun. I had a lot of good, good time.
It was very cool. Very like Twin Peaksy mood, and we had some of that
great food as well.
Good food.
Yeah.
Had some of the actors and producers. And
that was really cool.
Sound department was
two
over
separate
here.
like VR stations. Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah. So, anyways, check that out. Twin Peaks VR, both Steam and Oculus, and help us out. And even if you don't own a VR system, just share it.
Yeah, I thought you were about to say just buy it. I mean, you can still buy it, but...
But it's only $9.99.
I was about to say, do you guys have support for people who want to play without the VR? Or I guess you guys have a lot of the mechanics is picking things up and using your hands, right?
Yeah. It's a VR experience.
Yeah.
It's very much like to explore that world and be in that world. So, anyways, the big news this week: the Game Awards happened last night. Game of the Year. Let's start off with the big one.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Sekiro Shadow Dice twice. I mean, we talked about this, I think, in a previous week about how there wasn't really a clear front runner this year. Where last year was it was a 2-horse race, God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2, and this one was kind of a wide open.
I'm happy with their choice because it's like you can't really complain about it. You know what I mean? Like if you look at it, it's like there's nothing really you can say against that. Like you can't be like, nah, that wasn't Game of the Year. Like out of all of them, I'm like, I think it's a fair decision. I think it was a fair decision. It got a lot of hype. It was very well respected, and it's a fun game.
Yeah, I mean, I personally was rooting for Control and Outer Worlds, but Sekiro winning didn't really
affect that.
I wasn't complaining about it. I think, oh my god, this. I was just a little more surprised because it definitely is much more of a, hardcore game.
Oh, for sure.
Gamer. It's not as casual as.
I mean, it's tough. If you guys aren't Souls fans, don't even try. Like I'm just gonna let you know now. At least with Star Wars Jedi Knight, it has that accessibility to new players. It's still very Souls heavy, but it's not like
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order, yeah. It's not very like it's still easy to get into. If you play on the most hardest difficulty, it's insane.
Yeah.
So you have that approach for hardcore gamers, and you also have the story mode where your parry time is a lot easier if you just want to have the story. Which is a pity. I really wish Fallen Order would have been up for running this year because it would have been nice to see between Sekiro and Fallen Order. That would have been a nice decision-making process. Everything else that was nominated, I had a great time playing, but I don't really even Outer Worlds. I've spent so much time playing Outer Worlds. I just don't feel like it's that Game of the Year quality. It was a lot of fun though, but I don't know.
Dorian, what do you think of the winner?
Kind of like what you said, I wasn't necessarily opposed to any of them winning. I was just like, I was content with it. And kind of like what you said, I think Jedi Fallen Order, I wish they would have pushed the date up just so we could
have been a week or so,
it could have contended, because I personally think out of all the games, it was a definite contender for Game of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
That being said,
Outer Worlds, acting as well. For sure.
I definitely agree with that one. But for the most part, Outer Worlds was the only one I played a decent amount of out of all the ones that were nominated, and a little bit of Death Stranding. But I didn't really have a solid pick or preference for which one I wanted to win. I was kind of rooting for Control because you've been hyping it up this whole time, and I still have to play it.
The DLC looks good.
Yeah, it's free too.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
So now though, are you going to get the DLC, or are you going to let me play it and then I give it back and then you get the DLC? What's up?
Well, I can let you borrow the disc. I have the downloaded or whatever, so you can still borrow the disc.
Bet.
So, interesting enough, the wins were kind of all across the board, right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't. There was no like one dominant. There wasn't anything like leading up to Secure. I think they won one other award, which was like
There was
action
one
game
game
or something like that.
Disco Elysium ended up winning quite a bit. That
Yeah,
one, I didn't even
indie game and
I didn't even hear about that, but it looks amazing. Like it completely I don't know when it came out, but it just must have gone completely over my head. It looks really
no, I
good.
had heard a lot about it, but I hadn't
Yeah.
actually played it.
And yeah, that one got quite a few awards.
Yeah, but I mean, there was nothing like so like best performance. You had Mads Mikkelsen winning for Death Stranding. You had Death Stranding winning for best direction, Hideo Kojima, and music score. But then you had Control 1 for best art direction. Apex Legends wins for best multiplayer game, but Fortnite wins for best ongoing game. And then I think Destiny 2 won best for, what was it, like
Community online game.
Community, which has a very good community. I can see that.
And then Ultimate Smash Brothers wins best fighting games over MK11. Esports game was League of Legends. VR game was BC. There was just a wide variety
It
of
seemed
games
very
this year.
political. Like we got to make everyone happy. We can't piss off too many people. But it's also like if I don't know if I look at their decision making process, it seems fair. Like I can argue that all the decisions were made properly. Like Destiny 2 does have an amazing community. Smash Bros has. I'm not even a fan because I think unless you grew up with like a Nintendo and grew up playing Smash, you're not like it's not something you can just jump into. Like I can't just start playing Smash with you guys. You guys would wreck me probably. You know what I mean?
I'm decent at it. Like I grew up decently.
I don't
playing
even
it,
know the
but
buttons,
can,
Dorian.
I'm
like
that's
that-
the next
yeah.
besides Overwatch, and then I got Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That's like the next one on my list of games. I'm like making my way through on the Switch. Just
But
you know,
I mean, the DLC
chugging.
for that game's been amazing, and it's just like that. It has the hype hasn't left since the game came out. Like it's still super hyped up, you know. So that makes sense for me, yeah. And then best action game of the year was Devil May Cry, right?
Yeah.
I think Caboose would have been very happy about that because he wanted that to be game of the year, which man, I need to pick up that game. I bought it on PC, and my PC can't handle it.
Nice. But yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, and there was nothing too surprising, nothing too controversial, and no dominant games. Yeah, it's just funny because with Apex Legends winning best multiplayer game and then best ongoing game going to Fortnite, I was like, okay, it's like kind of eating your cake and
They knew they
having
had
your
to
cake
give
and
both of
eating
them
it
an
too.
award,
Yeah.
you know.
But I'm glad Apex won some though. That's like that out of all the games that are like up, I think that's out of the year. That's my most ongoing game. Like that's the one I've probably gone to the most.
It's a good multiplayer game.
Yeah,
I thought a good. I don't even know if it got nominated. Let me check. But I thought it would have been possibly Rainbow Six. I mean, I guess no, that didn't come out this year, but that's still like one of the more popular played multiplayer games.
And also, you can be trash at it and still like get a couple kills here and there.
Exactly.
I mean, though, I'm decently good now because I've been playing a lot. But like, anybody can play Apex and like get a kill or two. Fortnite, it's
Actually,
a no-go, bro.
No, you can because they added bots.
Oh, they did.
And they just stand in front of you and look at you, and you can just.
Well,
be
that's
like,
not an earned one, bro.
Exactly. It doesn't feel good.
Like I need
It doesn't feel good. Yeah.
Yeah, Fortnite makes me feel like trash. So.
While we're on the topic of Apex, of course, at the Game Awards, if you guys watched it last night, they did announce a new game mode for Christmas, which came out this morning. I haven't tried it yet, but a couple of friends of mine playing it. They said it's fun.
Okay.
You can get all like the Christmas-themed skins and stuff. Like you can have Caustic look like Santa Claus, which is amazing. Mirage look like the Nutcracker, and so on and so forth. So that's gonna be cool. It looks like fun, yeah. I'm probably gonna jump into that later today for Apex.
Xbox? No, you have PS4.
PlayStation, yeah.
God damn.
I don't know, man. After, I mean, we're going to get to it just now, but the new Xbox, it looks pretty.
So before we get into all the new kind of games and trailers that we saw, plus obviously the big Xbox Series X announcement, we'll talk in separately. The music performances, we started the whole award show with Churches.
Yeah.
From Death Stranding, we ended with Green Day at the end.
They killed it, yeah.
They
had Grimes
and then
in
they
there
also
somewhere.
announced the whole Beat Saber Green Day pack. What do you guys think? So, I mean, music performances. It's like the Oscars. They kind of like throw them in the awards. It's I think more for the people there at the awards than the people watching. right?
Well, that was my biggest throwaway, especially from, I think they fixed it later on, but with Church's performance, it just didn't, I was watching the stream on the the Game Awards channel, and the audio quality just wasn't good. I would imagine that, like, it just sounded different to me. I would imagine if I was there, it would have been a lot better.
yeah.
Like
It would have been like a concert, but it's just for streaming, the music didn't come out so nice. And then I love Churches, I've been listening to them for years, but I could tell that the vocalist had a bit of stage fright, and you could like kind of pick it up in her voice, and she was a little shaky, you know. It was a very interesting song choice. I like Grimes' performance because that basically gave us a sneak peek into what the music of Cyberpunk is going to be like. That song is going to be in Cyberpunk. There's no way that they're not going to like the whole backdrop, the music video. That song, it has to be. Yeah, and then Green Day. They killed it, man. I love it. They were like, everyone's like sitting down in their chairs watching the Game Awards. They do one song and they're like, stand up. You guys want to dance? Come here. Stand up. Come on forward.
You know your audience, my guy.
But he worked that audience good.
But still, I mean,
I thought the
stand up.
I thought people to run towards him.
I know. I thought the performance was fine. It's not my cup of tea. Like I don't rock with Green Day like that. But I thought it was fine for a performance. But like you said, then it's like this happens on. I feel like all the shows, like maybe E3 or something, when they cut to like a
I'm surprised there wasn't a dance number.
And you're sitting like a Just Dance or something they sprinkle in there or something like that. But yeah, just it seems like when we watch
Saber, the
streams
musical
or something like that, it's just like, all right, this is cool, like good music, but it's maybe they should try to do like a pre-televised version of those.
Well, what's up with like the half an hour of like the pre-show that's like
pre-show,
at the game, like just mark it part of the show.
It's right. It's not like we're going to a different venue. It's not like we're changing. Like, I mean, we're changing hosts, but only briefly.
It's like a half an hour till we start, and then it's I don't know. I was like, when is the show starting? You know? So
they're trying to make it feel like as much as a real like Oscar award show or something as they can, I guess.
Yeah.
No, and they just run through them. Like they have like where he just like lists off like these are the nominees for this award, this category that isn't big enough for an announcer to come out and talk about it. He just reads them off like, and the winner is blah blah blah.
So here's one of my qualms, and I don't know how long the Game Awards have been doing this, but why did they merge the racing and sports category together? Like, it's like best racing and sports game of the year. Like, no, I would like a best racing game and a best sports game. They're two very different things.
I would guess that maybe the racing genre just isn't big enough
to have its own category.
But I mean, the fact that Crash Team Racing went up against things like FIFA and 2K, and like, I mean, 2K wasn't even nominated, but which is weird because it was like the best-selling game of the year. But oh well. It's I don't know. It just seems odd to me. Like it's too. How do you even like judge which is better? It's two different things, you know.
Yeah.
It's like what's better, a baseball or American football? It's two different things.
That is true. That's where I know they did that.
Yeah, I guess time-wise it makes sense as well.
And do people? I'm not going to say that. I was going to say, do people really care about racing games? But there's an audience for it.
I suck at them, so I don't.
Yeah,
I'd say less so now, but I mean, it definitely was a bigger thing in the 2000s, 90s, like
when Gran Turismo came out.
Yeah, I mean, Gran Turismo is still big, but not nearly as big as what it was.
It was like everybody
huge.
loved it.
Dude, I remember playing Gran Turismo. I can't remember which one it was. It was on the PS2, and there were literally modes where it's like you do your fastest lap time, and then you have to leave your PlayStation on for like 3 hours to finish like the 200 lap saga that you're doing. You go make some breakfast, come back, and you're still like running that lap, and you gotta make sure you're still in the lead with that fastest lap time. If not, you gotta do another one. And it was so like even for like a game in the early 2000s, that was so much. Like I loved it though.
It's gaming trends, man. Remember when Tony Hawk was like big? Everyone was just playing Tony Hawk all day.
Now it's just like now there's no
one plays
games.
it. Rock Band / Guitar Hero was huge.
True,
now,
very true.
Now
it's Beat Saber.
You think I could see I don't know, like in terms of sales or anything, like for racing games in particular, but I could see it becoming a bigger thing in virtual reality. I could see that being a big. I thought that'd be dope. I'd get
I would get Gran
VR
Turismo.
racing. Yeah,
dude,
I'd
easy.
do something like that.
Yeah. Like any even like I mean I guess Need for Speed wouldn't work in that because it is very much like a third-person car game. But most other more professional racing games will have that first-person mode, and that'd be so easy to port to VR as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk about Xbox Series X in a minute, but let's talk about. I'll read off some of the names of the trailers and announcements that came out during. I mean, the Game Awards also, besides the awards, is like a 3-hour commercial for games.
Yeah. Didn't they go on longer? When I was watching it, I felt like they went over by half an hour.
Maybe like 10-15 minutes. I think.
Yeah.
Hellblade 2.
That does look good. That's going to be for the next console, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Ghost of Tsushima. And we've had a trailer before, but there was a brand new.
I still don't know
full
what
trailer.
it's about. I just see the dude walking around with a sword. I just
visually, it looks fantastic.
it looks beautiful. That's for sure.
Then we have Fast and the Furious Crossroads. That's when Vin Diesel and
That was
Michelle
awkward.
Rodriguez came out.
Wasn't that awkward?
They just wanted those two big stars to announce the game of the year. They know those two guys are gamers, and they happen to have a Fast and the Furious game.
Rodriguez looked so awkward.
It was. I didn't see that part live, but all of social media was like, why are they here, or like why, like they seem like off or something. So I was like, it can't be that bad. It wasn't as bad as people were making it seem, but it was a tad bit awkward.
It was like I knew they were gamers.
Out of their element a little bit.
I knew they were gamers. So when I saw her step on stage, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know they had the Fast and Furious game coming out. I just thought she's a fan. I knew she was like a gamer. I knew Vin Diesel was a gamer. So there's a lot of celebrities who are, but it's one of those things where it just like you. I know they're used to acting with scripts, but come on, man, get some public speech lessons or something.
It's hard being in front of a bunch of gamers, dude.
It is, yeah.
They judge the hardest.
Yeah.
That's true.
The most critical of all the fan bases. Yeah.
Vin Diesel was adorable, though. He was just so happy to be there. He's like, I'm with my people. These are my people. And I was like, oh, he's adorable. The game looks fun, though. It looks like Mad Max, but Fast and Furious.
Godfall. That's only going to be on PS5 and PC.
What's your speculations for that? I feel like it's going to be like a Diablo-esque game.
I mean, it says looter slasher, up to 3-player co-op. So that's
kind of reminded me of because I don't play many looter games. I kind of reminded me of the I don't know if it's an old school Apple app game called Infinity Blade. I don't know if you've ever played it.
I have.
I used to play that.
It was on Android as well. Yeah,
I used to play it all the time. It kind of reminded me of that just from the first look I got. But it looks
stylistically,
amazing.
you're right. Yeah,
style-wise, it looks like it could be
in
in the same universe as that. I thought, but it looks good. If that's is that their official, the first official game?
It's launching with the PS5, which, I mean, there was no PS5 news, but the fact that they said this is launching on the PS5 holiday next year, we know it's.
And there was like the PS5 logo at the end of the trailers that had for the games that were.
So we know it's coming out holiday next year. Yeah. I mean, I guess they had to. You got to match whenever Xbox is bringing out theirs,
Yes. So, in Path of the Warrior, Naraka Blade Point, there was a bunch of different game, and nothing huge. The biggest thing that we'll talk about right now is the Xbox Series X. That was kind of the biggest.
I was so excited.
It wasn't even a game. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh, they're going to save that for E3. They decided to drop that trailer that kind of, because one of those more inspirational trailers, right? They showed not really gameplay from games. They just
it was in engine. It was definitely in engine. Beautiful graphics of whatever. It's the possibilities.
Yes, I mean the graphics are great, but that was like cinematics, but in game.
Most tech demos look great. That was the thing.
Cinematics type of thing, not actual gameplay footage that showed like, I think it was like. Looked like FIFA, and then also Halo, obviously, and then just the once the reveal of the name Xbox Series X, which is confusing because they have the Xbox One Pro X already out. And then two, the thing that people are talking the most is the design of it.
Bro,
it looks like a PC tower.
I thought it looked like an upgraded Alexa Echo.
It kind of makes sense though. I was sitting there one day. I was like, for the past year, I was thinking, what is the next console going to look like? And if you're going to make like a high-end gaming console, I look at what high-end gaming PCs look like. So I was like, in my mind, when they were going to announce the PS4 Pro, I assumed that's what, or like the Xbox One X, the high-end versions of those. I thought that they were going to go more at the route that the Xbox Series X looks like, which kind of makes sense to me. You want a high-end device, it's going to be a little bit bigger. I like the shape of it. It's just a rectangle. It looks, and it stands up. It looks like it would look nice next to a TV.
It can go both vertical and horizontal, they said.
Oh, that's good as well. I would keep it horizontal. It looks nice.
Yeah. I was worried that it was going to be horizontal only or vertical only
because of what the top looks like, right? Because that's where the vent is. I also thought so.
Because I don't know if you guys remember, but the Xbox, what was it? Is it this generation, the Xbox One, where like you can't put it vertically?
I don't think you can. Yeah.
Yeah, because the games won't play.
Yeah. It was this one. Yeah.
Where the Xbox 360 you could.
Yeah.
So that's at least good news for me. So then you can decide you want to stack it on something or you want to put it on the side.
I just like how sleek it looks.
Yeah, look, I'm not
know?
complaining about like it looks like
Yeah.
it does look like a upgraded Amazon Echo, but it looks nice. I was like, okay, I could rock with this. My paycheck, I mean, like, I just got Xbox One, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got a year to
this,
save up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a year away. The question is, one, what is the price point going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Have they learned their lesson from last time? Coming out $4.99 was just a big mistake for them. They've got to hit that $3.99 price point.
Do you think they'll try to get like in between and say, hey, we'll give you guys we'll do $3.49? Like that would be such like a slap in the face.
I think that's a discless version. I think there's going to be a discless version that'll be $3.50. But the way that they've named this, and this is purely speculation in my brain, okay? Naming it the Xbox Series X. Are they going to make this thing modular in the sense of in a future version, like you just take out something and put something, do you know what I mean?
It does look like you could upgrade it because it is.
Yes.
It does have that kind of size to it. And that would also, once again, make sense. And Microsoft could essentially be making more money if they did their own version upgrades, you know what I mean? Rather than like, oh, go get the Ryzen 5, get the
so let's
Microsoft
say this
version of that.
This launches next year, right? And then how long are the cycles now? 6, 7, 8 years?
I guess so.
We did Xbox One and
PS4 was 2013, 2014? 2013, I think, yeah.
2013. So it's 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be 7 years next year. So let's say in 8 years from now, they're like, all right, we got the new one.
Actually, that makes sense because I think it was like 2006 for PS3.
But if you own like Xbox One Series X, you can just buy this card, and you put the card in there. I'm totally speculating. This is just more of like a fantasy type of situation where it's like, okay, you want to upgrade to the next generation, you just do this. You know what I mean?
That would be handy. I mean,
I'm just guessing because of the size of it and the name of it. Is it something that it's
the Series X?
Yeah. Are they gonna?
I immediately thought of Tesla for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why so many X's? I mean, I guess it's Xbox, but still.
But yeah, I'm excited that they finally have a name. Not the best of names. The console itself looks cool. I'm interested in the price point and obviously the games.
Yeah, I'm excited. The main thing I'm excited about is, of course, the games, but it's also like they said it's 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One X. I'm like, bro, I'm already content. Like, I'm already satisfied with what.
Let me ask you, what
TV
do you have?
I have a Amazon Fire TV.
Is it 4K?
Yeah.
So you're at least getting
I'm getting like
the best out of
the maximum of it. So it's like the 8K input. I don't have 8K, but.
I mean, that's the biggest reason as to why they've been pushing back these console launches so far is because people everyone's now finally getting to everyone's starting to get 4K TVs because they're finally getting affordable, you know what I mean? But when this console comes out, I'm guessing they're hoping that people will start having 8K by then, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a move.
It's a big move, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, we're talking like this. We have a decent amount of time, but still.
I mean, 4K looks pretty good to me so far.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
I'm not complaining.
I guess it's also
we do not need 8K.
But it's also one of those things where it's
4K looks great.
We're about to get into Gemini Man type.
Even 1080 stuff looks pretty good.
Exactly. But there is some times where I kind of sat there where it's you don't notice that change, but I think you notice it when you go back. You know what I mean? Like there are if I look at a game that came out 2 years ago that was flawless graphics, and maybe it still holds up today, but you can still tell that there is better and newer things out there, you know. And I feel like that would be the difference between the 8K and the 4K. You know what I mean? I don't think I'll notice the difference, but I think if I had an 8K TV for a year and I went back to a 4K TV, I feel like then I would notice the difference. But it's a thing of you don't know. If I don't have it, I don't know what I'm missing, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, these games are not going to be running 8K anyways.
I play indie games mostly anyways.
They're going to play it's going to be 4K, and they're going to try hit a high frame rate. You know, they probably could do 8K, but at a very reduced frame rate. You know,
yeah.
So I think they want a smoother game experience. Because remember, it just ultimately comes down to the games, right?
Yeah.
You can tout the specs all you want, but it's all going to be about the exclusive games and whatnot. And that's all to be determined from both consoles. And, holiday 2020, we knew that. One game that I was excited to see that was announced there Wolf Among Us 2.
Yes, that was good. I was hyped. That was a very good game.
I mean, remember, Telltale shut down. Then they got bought. Their assets got bought. A lot of their IP got sent back to the original IP copyright holders. Like, Minecraft went back to Microsoft. Walking Dead
Borderlands
went back
to et cetera, et cetera.
But they still had a few, like Batman and then Wolf Among Us.
The Batman series was good. The Telltale series was really good for Batman.
And so it wasn't out of the realm of possibility of coming back, but I was just surprised that.
So was I. And then also No More Heroes 3. I don't know if you guys ever played any of the previous ones.
No.
When I was. I don't know if you can look up when No More Heroes 2 came out, but it's been so long, Dennis. Like, I screamed. I genuinely screamed when I saw they dropped No More Heroes 3, and I was like, even more reason for me to go get a Switch. That was announced in the pre-show, but that looks good. I think there's going to be a lot of hype around No More Heroes 3 for sure. I think the previous two are on the Wii. It's one of those things where, like, with No More Heroes 3 coming out, I would like to see them remaster the previous two, but I think you have to have the motion control, so I don't know. The previous one worked with, like, the Wii, using it as a sword. You had, like, a lightsaber thing. It was so cool.
Bro, the Switch is a move. I got one last week. It's a move. Get it. It's a good investment.
Dude, trust me. I know. I want that Switch bad, bro. Like, really bad. For multiple reasons. But yeah, no. So No More Heroes 3, there's a lot of hype around that for sure.
The first one was on the Wii.
Yeah, I remember playing the first one on the Wii. That was so fun.
2008 in America.
It's the only game I enjoyed on the Wii.
And then let me see where the sequel.
Because I don't think I played much of the sequel. I don't remember what that came out on even. Could have also been the Wii.
The sequel. Wii as well in 2010.
Because you have to use like the Wii remote as your sword.
People are still playing the Wii in 2010.
Probably only for that game. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, when the second game came out, I know so many people who rebought a Wii just to go and play that game.
It's funny. I have one like sitting in my closet.
Same. Like, I got one that's
I haven't touched the Wii in a minute. But I know even though they it's not popular, but I know people.
I still play Wii Sports, dude.
A lot of
Wii Sports was the only thing I played.
A lot of hospitals and sports rehabilitation places use that.
No,
so I think that's cool
sense.
that it's still it's getting its money's worth out of it.
While we're on the topic of Telltale, I know we didn't have this in the breakdown, but I was looking at the games that were released this week. Nothing really big came out this week. Something that did catch my eye was did you ever play the Vampire the Masquerade?
No, but I know.
So so that's a tabletop game. Then an RPG. An RPG came out around 2004, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. They announced Masquerade the Bloodlines 2 earlier this year. It's coming out next year. A lot of hype around that. But this week they dropped a game with Telltale. A Vampire the Masquerade set in New York, which is where it is set, and it's like they had it's not released by Telltale, but they were working with them to be like, how does moral dilemmas work? So it's a very like text heavy game. I thought it was an RPG, but this is like a very text heavy game. So if you guys are fans of Vampire the Masquerade, there's a game out on PC right now where you can play the dialogue version of that. It's really fun.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about from the Game Awards?
How cringy was the acceptance speech? And like, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I thought the acceptance speech from Epic Games was a little cringy for ongoing Game of the Year. I don't think the tears were that necessary. I can understand being overwhelmed. I can understand that, but I don't know.
Did they win last year or something?
I think so, but it's like, I just feel like and I don't ever want to judge anybody for ever crying, but it did feel like he saw the opportunity to cry, and he felt the emotion, and he's like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there. And that's what it seemed like to me.
Nice. Maybe there's just behind the scenes stuff that we just don't know.
He did thank the 1,000 people working at Epic Games, though, which I believe was nice of him. I was like, yes, you didn't create the game yourself. Yeah. Thank you for thanking all the people that worked with it.
Yeah. All right. Next thing, we've got the Mortal Kombat movie. The date moves up earlier. So originally, I think it was slated for March.
Yeah.
Of double check this.
2021.
Yeah, 2021. But it's because I think they're wrapping filming right now. I think, or close to wrapping. But originally it was going to be in March. Now it's in January 15th. Now, traditionally, January has been kind of a dumping ground for bad movies. But in this case, I don't think that's the case. I think it's one of those things where it's like,
well, when is the 2 Keanu movies coming out next year? 'Cause isn't that around that March time?
No, I think those were. That was scheduled for. I think it's May 4th is when those
something
the
like
Matrix.
that, yeah.
But I think I personally think it's I'm cautiously optimistic because, like you said, even though like January's been known as a dumping ground, we've seen like this year
People have been trying to take that spot.
it, and hopefully
I've seen video games do the same
Bad Boys
thing.
3.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Bad Boys 3 will take it in January 2020. Shout out to Makuga, but hopefully I think they're just confident about it because you don't put I think they know that Mortal Kombat is such a big enough name that they can put it in that month and not have to worry about it trying to compete, like moving it out of March, out of Birds of Prey Shadow, so it doesn't have to compete with all those comic book movies. Like once you get into the February, then on, like it's comic book heavy, big blockbuster.
Yeah.
So like putting it ahead of all that instead of like trying to have it compete, especially it's new, it's a reboot, it's a new cast of people. I think it's smart to have it before we get into the actual movie onslaught that we're about to do in 2020. So hopefully it's good news.
There's only 2 possible reasons as to why they did what they did. One, which is what you just brought up now, which is that they're confident that it's going to do well, so they're going to release it early. But for a movie studio to release a movie early, they're either really confident or they're not.
Just want to get it out the way and just get like, hey, it dropped in
It's either like, we got to get rid of this, or man, we got to make the money now. It's so good.
I would say because they're either
the casting process has been really good.
Yeah.
So.
Also, they haven't finished. They either haven't finished filming or are about to finish filming. So they haven't even gotten to the editing room there.
Post-production,
I mean, there's probably some quick assembly edits for the directors to take a look at, but there isn't like they aren't at the point yet where they watch it and go, "Fuck, this movie sucks." Or I mean, they're just not even at that point to make that decision. So I think it's purely a marketing.
We haven't even seen any trailers, have we?
Exactly.
Which means we've seen no finished CGI.
It's not like the New Mutants where that thing they like shelved, no one knows where it is, and they can't. It's more of okay, let's see if we can grab that January spot because there's less attention during there. I mean,
that is true.
That's the thing. It's like there's only 2 like dead periods for the movie season, end of August, early September, with January now. But even those are starting to close. People are just there's like. The window of like when the dead movie season is just slowly.
Too much content, too many movies.
There is, and now you guys are too young to know this, but in television before, the whole summer used to be dead season. The whole summer used to be only reality TV show was on.
That's horrible.
But now because of streaming television and cable and all this stuff, it's like no, you're gonna get Game of Thrones during the summer. You're gonna get this during this, like
your kids will never play outside.
There is no, you know what I mean? There's no dead season for television anymore. It's just it's ongoing.
It's constant. Yeah,
it's
completely
constant.
ongoing.
So, but back in the day, it was like all your shows would stop in about May or June, and then you would just the only thing that was on was reality TV. And then your shows would come back in September, October.
I wonder if that's ever going to affect, and this is a little out of the realm that we deal with. For those who are listening, in my spare time, I'm an actor and screenwriter. I wonder if that'll ever affect pilot season. You know what I mean? Will pilot season ever change for casting? Because pilot season's always been around January.
Yeah, but I mean, the pilot system is
gone
different.
pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you have Netflix does green light to series, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no pilot.
Which is kind of scary to think of if you think about it. It's like, no, let's not test it out in an episode. We'll just give you the money to do a whole season. If it doesn't work, screw it. We're Netflix.
Yeah. And then you have Amazon, who they still do pilots.
That's good.
But but not.
Well, who knows with Disney Plus doing weekly releases? Maybe
Yeah. So it's all over the place. Another announcement that actually came before the Game Awards was the Resident Evil 3 remake.
Yeah, a lot of hype around
and
that.
they had the trailer. I mean, the Resident Evil 2 remake got nominated for Best Game of the Year. So obviously, it was very well received. I think both by fans and critics. And then you have the third one, they have the full trailer, and it looks good. It makes sense. I think it makes a lot more sense. I mean, obviously, I like when you have a very good or great game that's recently where they upgrade the graphics. For example, Last of Us, right? You had the PS3 version, and now you have a remastered PS4 version. That's cool. But it makes even more sense when you're taking a game that's really old and redoing the entire graphics, and also you're changing the control scheme, and there's just a lot more to it.
I mean, didn't Resident Evil 2 do so? That was incredibly successful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the remaster.
Yeah.
Like it would make sense. And then also looking at like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, those games, like they were so successful. These remakes of our nostalgia, if done right, are successful. You know what I mean?
Speaking of piggybacking off of that, also I did enjoy, even though I'm not a Final Fantasy fan at all, I did enjoy the new trailer.
It was a nice
Are you
trailer.
a fan of
Dude,
Fantasy?
hardcore. I pre-ordered already. I pre-ordered like the minute pre-order came out.
We'll talk after this, but that it seemed like the footage that they showed of the new trailer, it was basically I think just repackaged footage that they showed.
They showed more of a story
E3.
for Cloud. But yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
They just put it in like a different order. They did show a couple new cutscenes, which was nice, specifically with a man. The fact that I'm blanking on his name right now is killing me. Starts with a B, and he has guns for hands. Anyways,
but also, so I was told this would be, if you're not a Final Fantasy fan, like, would you say this is a good jumping off? Like, I could jump into this and just be like, fine.
The reason why is because it's, first of all, it's not turn-based.
Okay.
Did you play Final Fantasy 15?
No.
That was one of the best Final Fantasies for new people to get in because
Okay.
it wasn't as complicated as the previous ones. And not that the previous ones were complicated, but they can be a little scary for newcomers.
Okay.
It's very hack and slash RPG, whereas previously it was turn-based. So it's going to be, they basically taken Final Fantasy 15, those mechanics, and made Final Fantasy 7, which is what people wanted, because Final Fantasy 15, an amazing game, the story was lacking. Final Fantasy 7 has one of the world's most beautiful stories.
Okay. All right.
One of the literally, it'll tear your heart out as well.
You and Emma Fife got me sold. I'll give it a chance.
I think they're releasing it in parts though, as far as I know.
I'll wait till the new one drops.
Because I know when the original game came out, it came out on like 4 discs. It came out in one go, but it's a big game, so for me it would make sense for them to release it in parts, like Final Fantasy Episode 7 Part 1, and maybe do it in 4 parts or something. I don't know if they are going to release the whole game in one go. That'd be amazing, though. I think it's going to look great. A couple of things. I know we brought it up before. I know you didn't see it in the trailer, but if you're wondering how your party works, you actually get to switch in between your party members live. So it's not just you're not just Cloud the whole time. You can be Cloud.
Oh
you
yeah,
can
I saw
switch
that,
to Tifa, and then like it's sick. Yeah.
Anything else? There's one last story I have, but you guys have anything?
I just want to touch on, since we were already talking about movie studios and stuff, the VFX studio that did the design for Sonic.
I heard about that.
So
they
that
went bankrupt.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
But like everyone got laid off.
Is that the same one as the Lion King?
Yeah, it's
the
same company.
One. Okay, so it's not due to Sonic.
No, I'm not saying
down.
they got closed because of Sonic, but I was just saying that's their most recent. They did the
why
rework
did they get
for
closed? Like
Sonic
I don't know
as
why.
well.
I just
VFX
know
studios, the margins are so small.
I was gonna say I just know they went under in terms of everyone like no one got given like notice. It was like, hi, you don't have a job anymore. It was just like so many people just got like screwed. That sucks.
The problem is when movies need VFX, they have people bid out these contracts, and then once they get the bids, it's like everyone kind of tries to lowball it to get the contract, and then realize, wait, it's a lot. Maybe not even realize that the movie studio themselves go, oh wait, there's a lot more. You got to do more of this. And this is in game
and then like they signed
world.
a contract, so
yeah, and they still owe them, and
that kind of that sucks.
I mean,
man.
the VFX company that did The Life of Pi, they had like won an Oscar, and then they closed. You know what I mean? Like it's just these VFX studios is just I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel like movie studios should have a better process in terms of contracting out these things,
or at least some like
eventually
respect,
Well, yeah, eventually if this doesn't work out,
where are we going to get our CGI from?
Where is?
And this was a Vancouver studio. I know that usually you're outsourcing to either China or Korea, but it's like India, but it's like what you're going to reach a point. You know what I mean? You can't always outsource from India.
No, and you don't know what the quality level is, right?
So I believe the picture company who owns the VX, they're not the studio isn't completely closing. They're just closing the Vancouver.
Oh, just that. Okay.
But the messed up thing is the more messed up thing about it is that the Vancouver team specifically was the one that had the most part on doing the redesign for Sonic. So it was like
they worked so
put on
hard,
all
man.
that extra hard work for the new design, and it's like, all right, you're done.
You don't have a job anymore.
And now you get
no 2 weeks notice. notice, no
what's,
nothing.
like them already losing their jobs messed up, but for them to have to be the ones to have put in that hard work to do the redesign for the fans and then not see the
I hope they get like
pay
a
it
thank
off.
you note or something in the credits. Shit. Another thing to bring up before we move over, it's more or less within the same realm. YouTube. How do you guys feel about the latest YouTube Rewind?
It was better. It was better. It was better than the
Didn't watch it.
2018 one, but it was also still low key trash.
It was a Watch Mojo. It was a top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just a glorified top 10. And my biggest thing, and everyone speaks about this as well, is that they didn't mention Etika. Like, not at all. Who was like, he passed away this year. That was a huge part of this year, and to not even like mention that, or at least not to like mention like YouTubers who have passed away this year segment, like that would have been nice to see, you know, like a memorial section.
According to Twitter, YouTube is over because that was a hashtag.
Yeah, that was the
Okay,
hashtag that ran. Yeah,
YouTube
so
is
silly.
over.
But yeah, it was better than last year's, but you could only go up from last year. Last year's
True,
was like
yeah.
at the dirt.
Apparently, they sent the video to PewDiePie right before they released it. They were like, "What do you think about this?" And he's like, "Well, you're not paying me to work on it or anything, so this is what I think you should do." And they took his notes, and they still released it anyways. And then he released his own video where he's like, "Now imagine if you guys had paid me to do it. I would have given you guys and it's true because he does do the best YouTube rewinds himself, but he's like, I would have given you guys the best YouTube rewind if you paid me to do it, but whatever." And apparently then they got like, here's the thing, Ethan Klein from H3 Productions, YouTube spoke to him before the time. They're like, "Look, could you tweet out about like, just like do like a special tweet where it's like, what was your favorite moment for YouTube Rewind? And then we'll give the top tweets winners. Those winners, we'll give them awards. We'll give them presents." And then Ethan's like, "That's great. What do they get? A fanny pack." So, like, and they weren't gonna pay him anything. It was like, it was so bad, man.
YouTube.
Come on, YouTube, you're better than that. It's sad because the previous YouTube rewinds besides last year was fun.
Like
it was nice.
You go back 2015, 2016.
2015 was a great
good,
one, man.
Good, great quality. They should have just went back. And when they did that teaser, sorry, we're getting on a little YouTube rewind tangent, but when they did the like original teaser for YouTube rewind this year, it was like, all right, we learned from our mistakes. Like,
right, yeah,
I
they
was
said
like, all
sorry.
right,
Sweet, hell
all
yeah,
right,
they apologized.
giving them a chance, and then
they just gave us a top 10.
they were just like, all right, we can't mess this up, and it was fine.
They did have a
a
new creator section that was cool for like people that started their channel this year that are doing really well. So it wasn't just like, hey, look at all these people you already know. It was like, hey, these are a couple of people you don't know. So I did like that, and it's like, once again, it's one of those things where you can't.
I felt like I couldn't make that video, and that's saying something.
Literally, I couldn't.
And
make
I
that
can't
video.
edit for shit.
You could have Googled the results for that stuff and just put it together yourself. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I felt like that was worth bringing up just because that was a lot of backlash the past week.
And it was trash.
Last thing on my list is the 2K Studio has announced a new Bioshock game.
Yeah.
But it's from a new internal studio called Cloud Chamber. But they're not planning on this game coming out anytime soon. They just kind of wanted to
Just
let people know that
Slowly
it's in
build up
development.
hype.
Just because Bioshock is, a beloved franchise.
I wonder what direction they would go in, because at least for me, the
Don't
first.
spoil anything, bro. I'm just now starting this. I mean, I just started.
Well, don't worry, no
time.
spoilers.
All
But
right.
for me, like the first two Bioshock games and Bioshock Infinite are two very different games stylistically.
But it
and
was a
atmospherically.
different
studio as well, right?
Yeah, and you could different game director.
And that's also why I'm thinking, like, what are they going to do with the next one? You know what I mean? Like,
But didn't Infinite, they brought back the original team, or at least the
because
original...
Infinite was a prequel.
Yeah.
Infinite was like so it was kind of like before everything went to shit.
Yeah.
And then, at least in terms of like mood and lighting, like the difference between Zack Snyder to the Russo brothers, you know what I mean? In terms of like the medium itself, it just feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a different atmosphere.
I'd like for them to remaster the Bioshock collection.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah,
The Bioshock
Because
collection.
I played the first one, but I didn't finish it.
I never finished the second one yet.
And I'd love for them to kind of remaster it. And
It's such a good story
that I
as
can-
well.
yeah.
You know, the first one is a great story.
anything else? I mean, I finally finished Jedi Fallen Order.
What'd you think,
The ending,
bro?
Don't spoil it. I think we should do a spoiler
Yeah,
review
that
sometime.
should be another
next
whole
week
video.
or whatever.
man, I couldn't sit down. I was like
Are
standing
you
up.
talking about the ending? I'm talking about when.
I'm talking about
when
it's
that-
not really the ending, but it's the last boss fight. Yes.
Yeah, the last. Yeah, okay.
Dude.
We're on the same page.
Big,
All right,
yeah,
bro.
big moment. That was
shit,
amazing.
I was like, oh, what the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do it. Let's do a Jedi Fallen Order spoiler review next week.
And then like when Blank threw like your homegirl
Yeah,
off,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
like oh, bro, that whole.
I will say this
All
because
right,
once,
we
and
all-
this is a zero spoiler thing. I did not like the ending It just kind of seemed like they wrapped it up a little too tightly.
I know what you're talking
like, you know what I'm
When
talking about? Like,
he-
literally,
Yeah,
when he does the thing, and it's like, I get why he does that, but it's like, well, there goes any possibilities
like
to a
our
sequel.
yeah.
You know?
They'll still make a sequel.
They'll make us, but
They'll
I
still
feel like
make a
they'll make it
sequel.
in a different era.
But I
like
will-
this one's between episode 3 and 4.
Yes.
Maybe they'll make one between episode 6 and 7.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be cool.
But yeah, overall,
Maybe
I
get a Baby Yoda.
overall, I was
Yeah.
very satisfied with my playthrough through the game.
It was. I really wish there was up
Some
for the awards this
nitpicky
year,
things
man.
about it, but I mean, overall, I think they did a great job with it. I think it was what we wanted to see from it. To me, it opens up a lot of possibilities in terms of
Because it's all
different-
canon, so yeah.
different types of Star Wars games. I mean, dude, you can take that same engine and make a fucking action RPG.
Exactly. Yeah. It was. What I like about it most is that they finally found that medium of like the reason why Dark Souls and games that are very Souls inspired sell so well is because that competitive nature of like when you fight a boss and you just spend 15 to 20 minutes fighting this boss and you finally kill him.
This game is hard.
It's like,
bro.
but you feel so. You feel so good when you do that, and it's like with Dark Souls you get that, and it's so nice that they've now created a game where it's like you don't have to be the world's best gamer. Like you can play this game on easy, you can play this game on normal.
Bro, but
you know what I
even
mean?
though on easy
Even
and
normal
normal
is
was
hard.
Like,
Like,
for me, easy was too easy, and normal was okay. I played the game on hard. If I wanted to, I could probably play the game on its hardest difficulty, but the game then would have taken me much longer to.
that's the thing is like
'cause the only thing it really changes is the amount of damage I take and my parry time. And if you're
Yeah.
good at dodging, it doesn't change the game much for me.
I feel like so I played through for the most part is the Jedi Knight one, the one like right before Jedi Master, I believe.
Yeah.
But
Jedi Knights was
Or-
that was like the normal, yeah.
yeah, so
That's good.
So I feel like I could. No, I played like half of it Jedi Master, and then there's Jedi Master. Is there one? There's
No,
not one.
I thought there was 4.
Yeah, I
One was
thought there was
story
story.
mode.
There's Jedi Knight, Jedi Master, and then there's whatever it had like a different name, I think.
Hold on, let me.
Cause story mode's the easiest.
Story mode's
Yeah.
the easiest. I think Jedi Knight's normal, right?
Yeah, Jedi Knight, and then
But what I will
There's-
say is, like, coming from
Hold on.
a perspective of all my friends who have played all the Dark Souls games and Sekiro and games like that,
Grandmaster is the last one.
that's a
God, yeah,
Grandmaster. So all my friends who have played Sekiro, Dark Souls, those types of games, they played the entire game on its hardest difficulty.
Grandmaster?
Yeah, they played it on there and they were like, no, it was good. It was difficult for them, but they wanted it to be more difficult. So I know that a lot of hardcore gamers did want it to be a bit more difficult. For me, I think it was the perfect amount of difficulty. Like, and the difficulty, the scaling, the way that the way that it only affects your parry time mainly. That I think was a genius thing. You know what I mean? To be able to parry easier, like make it easier that way.
that's the only reason. See, I could have, if I really wanted to, I think I would have been fine going on Jedi Master throughout the whole game, but just for time purposes, so we could do the review within the time. So I just I put it on.
If you go on
Jedi.
story,
That's why
if you go on
that's-
story mode, you
you
can finish
burn
that game
through
like
that,
that,
yeah.
and it's beautiful. Such a good story.
What lightsaber color did you pick?
Guess.
Purple.
Damn straight.
Everybody picked
I
purple.
picked
I thought I
purple
was doing
too.
something special. God damn
You
it.
think like, nah, man. You think you're the dude?
Yeah.
Dude comes in there. He talks to George Lucas. You want me to be a Jedi? Give me a purple lightsaber. Like Samuel L. Jackson. I respect you.
Yeah.
That was a cool part, but just
I wanted,
we
like,
can do
a
whole
more,
other
like,
video.
Sith
All right,
Red, though.
let's
Yeah,
wrap up this.
yeah.
Let's
Let's
wrap up this one.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed listening. Last time, check out Twin Peaks VR on Steam, on Oculus. If you don't have one system, we're planning on having it on Quest and PSVR. But just share it anyways. We got the trailer.
If you
got
guys
the
pick it up,
links.
comment and let us know what you guys think about it.
Yeah. Dorian, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Dorian Parks and Rec, and you can find me on Instagram at Dorian Parks, and you can find me right here on the Collider Games channel.
You guys can find me on Instagram. That's josh.toki. And you guys can find me on Twitch, and that's josh_toki.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at thinkhero.dennis.tzng on Instagram. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Collider Games. Also, subscribe to our podcast feed, the Collider Factory podcast feed, for our show every single week. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.
See you next time.
Peace.